video is all about tanning, how you can actually protect your skin from tanning, and if it does occur on your skin, how to actually remove it, and finally the differences between tanning and pigmentation. A tan is basically skin's way of protecting itself from sun damage. There are two types of rays from sun which we need to be careful about, the UVA and UVB. UVB basically causes sunburn. UVA, on the other hand, can penetrate deep into the skin and age our skin. It damages the collagen and all the other important tissue in our skin. What happens is, skin, in order to protect itself, starts producing a pigment called melanin. Now this pigment melanin travels up to the top layer of the skin and deposits itself there. It acts like an umbrella against sun's UV rays. But a word of caution here though, melanin can never give us 100% protection against sun's UV rays, and so we can't falsely assume just because we've got melanin we are safe and we don't need any sun protection. You know how I said there are two types of rays from the sun, UVA and UVB. UVA oxidizes this melanin and that's what results in the tan. It has an intense color, the oxidation. Oxidation is something like if you leave a cut apple outside, it changes its color. So similarly, that melanin gets oxidized by the sun's UVA rays and that produces the tan. So that's the immediate tan. Now UVB, on the other hand, stimulates new melanin production for up to 72 hours and that gets oxidized, and that's what results in delayed tanning. So basically UVA is causing a tan by oxidizing the existing melanin and causes an immediate tan. UVB, on the other hand, triggers more melanin production for up to 72 hours and causes a delayed tanning. Often people get confused between pigmentation and tanning. Though they are related, there is also a very subtle difference, and to actually tackle them correctly, we need to understand what that difference is. Now, tanning is caused by sun exposure, so that's why it occurs only in the parts of the body which is exposed to the sun. And if you do the right things, a tan can fade usually in about 7 to 10 days. And a tan is much more uniform and even in color. Now, the pigmentation, on the other hand, are the dark spots and the dark patches. Now, they can be because of genetics, they can be because of hormones, and they can also be because of the sun's exposure. And they're not uniform like a tan from the sun. They're usually uneven and a bit patchy. Now, pigmentation takes much longer than 7 to 10 days to fade, and in some cases it might never fade. Now the thing is, a tan is also a pigment, but it can fade away if you do the right things. A tan can turn into permanent pigmentation if you don't attend to the tanning immediately and do what you need to do to fade it away. Because once it becomes permanent pigmentation, it's really hard to get rid of. Preventing tanning is much more effective than actually getting rid of a tan. The way to prevent a tan is to actually use sunscreen on all parts of the body that's exposed to the sun. No, a sunscreen doesn't cause tanning. Sunscreen actually prevents tanning. But having said that, your skin can tan even if you've used a sunscreen, because no sunscreen can offer 100% protection. We can bump up that protection and get it as close to 100 as possible by using the right SPF number. Use a sunscreen which is broad spectrum. A broad spectrum sunscreen protects us from both UVA and UVB. Now, just like I mentioned in the earlier part of the video, both these rays, UVA and UVB, can cause a tan, and so we need to protect our skin against both of them. That's why we need the broad spectrum sunscreen. Now, broad spectrum alone is not enough. What we need to find out is how much of protection it's offering. So you need SPF of at least 50, 30 plus, close to 50, very good. SPF tells us how much protection the sunscreen offers against UVB. So that's taken care of. And then you need to look for letters PA and the number of pluses next to it. Go for 4 pluses. Now that tells us that it offers best protection against UVA. And another thing, maybe you're using the sunscreen incorrectly. You need at least 1 teaspoon of sunscreen just on your face and neck and ears alone. And then for the other parts of the body which is exposed to the sun, you need more sunscreen. And another thing is, you need to apply sunscreen at least 20 minutes before you step out in the sun, because it does take for it that long to become effective. And you do need to reapply the sunscreen at regular intervals. Sunscreen does become ineffective after a few hours. And if you're in the water or if you're sweating excessively, just remember that the sunscreen needs reapplication even sooner, because it can get washed away. Also, make sure you wear a good hat, a good sunglasses. All that offers extra protection for our skin. When your skin does tan, remember that it's an indication. It's a skin telling you that it has been exposed and affected by the sun's UV rays. A tan, once it appears on our skin, can take up to 7 to 10 days or slightly even longer for it to fade, but it doesn't necessarily have to fade. You need to do the right things for it to help fade away. After you've come back, if you've noticed that your skin has tanned, make sure you use some soothing products on your skin. Maybe it's something like aloe vera gel, maybe a skincare product which has got panthenol in it, a skincare product which has got niacinamide in it. So try to use ingredients which can actually reduce the inflammation on our skin. In fact, even if your skin hasn't tanned, always straight after coming, if you've had a long day in the sun, use a product afterwards which has got some good anti-inflammatory ingredients in it. Another thing is nappy creams. Nappy creams usually have really good anti-inflammatory ingredients. They don't look good on the skin, but that's okay. You can just stay inside, rub them on your skin and wash it off after a couple of hours. But they are really good at reducing the inflammation. See, what the anti-inflammatory ingredients do is they basically soothe the skin. You know how some of the tanning can occur up to 72 hours? So what we do with this anti-inflammatory ingredients is calm the skin down and reduce that new melanin, excess melanin being produced for up to 72 hours, because that can result in more tanning. So by using these anti-inflammatory ingredients, we are reducing or completely removing the chances of more tanning occurring. And then do the exfoliating acids. Now exfoliating products are the ones with glycolic acid, salicylic acid, lactic acid or mandelic acid. Now these kind of exfoliating acids gently scrub away the top layer, dead skin cells in the top layer of the skin. So if the dead skin cells have that extra melanin which is causing the tan, when they get scrubbed away, the tan also fades away. But don't overdo it. If you just go and end up exfoliating multiple times a day or every day or something like that, that can actually cause inflammation and redness and irritation on your face. So just be cautious, don't overdo it. And then also use anti-pigmentation ingredients, and I'll list a few of them here as well. And the anti-pigmentation ingredients are basically reducing the existing tan and also reducing the chances of new tan from occurring. So use serums or products which have these ingredients. They kind of reduce the pigmentation really well. You can actually use them even a couple of times a day until this tanning fades away. Please don't use any lemon juice or baking soda or potatoes and all that stuff that actually increases the tan and causes permanent pigmentation. And finally, like I mentioned earlier, don't over exfoliate your skin. That can also lead to irritation, which is what we are trying to control. The best way to get rid of a tan is to actually prevent it, and the only way to prevent it is to use sunscreen correctly. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and do subscribe to my channel. That will really help me a lot, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.